Namaste. My name is Dorotarozko, and I will guide you through a 30-minute yoga flow session. Thank you for joining me today. We will focus on hamstrings and hips, and I wouldn't be myself if I didn't throw a little bit of core work into our flow as well. Begin in a comfortable seat. You may sit on a block or you may choose to sit on the mat. Rest your hands onto your knees or your thighs and close your eyes. Take a moment to fully arrive here and now. As you bring your attention to your breath, with each inhalation, imagine the crown of your head reaching all the way up towards the sky. And as you breathe out, gently pull the navel towards the spine. And for the first few rounds, just notice whether you're inhaling through the nose and what are you breathing out through? Is it the nose or the mouth? Then consciously start inhaling through the nose and breathing out through the nose as well. Inhaling to elongate the spine and breathing out to gently pull the navel towards the spine. We're going to take 2 more deep breaths here. Join the palms together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. And if there was any intention you'd like to set for today's class, feel free to do so. I encourage you to keep ahimsa, non-violence, in mind when practicing. What it means is practicing, allowing our body to do only as much as it wants to do today, respecting its needs and capabilities according to the given moment. Gently bow your head towards the heart, blink the eyes open, give me a big smile. Namaste. Welcome, and again, thank you for joining me. Reach your legs forward, and then just allow them to roll in and out a few times. Hands could be on the sides, or they could be resting your thighs, whatever feels good for you right now. And then we're gonna bend and extend the knees, just tapping the backs of the legs. From here, cross the legs and bring the hands forward into all fours, hands and knees. I'm gonna demo this way. So we want the shoulders to be stacked over the wrists and the hips over the knees. You can either point or flex the feet for that first round here. We're gonna warm up the wrists since we're gonna be bearing weight on the hands and the wrist later on as well. Gently pushing the floor away and then shifting the weight from one arm to the other. If you've been to my class before, surely you've done it before. You could also change the position of the hands, fingers pointing in or fingers pointed out. Just a few more rounds. And then from here, point the toes if you had them flexed. Move the hips towards the heels, reach the arms forward into a quick child's pose. Instead of placing the hands flat on the floor, keep the fingertips on the floor and raise the palms of the hand. And then see whether you can walk the hands farther forward, allowing the spine to really lengthen. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out fully through the mouth. Look ahead, place the palms flat, shift the weight forward into all fours, so the shape we've already been to. Inhale as you arch the back, gently bringing the shoulder blades towards each other and allowing the belly to drop towards the floor. As we exhale, pull the navel towards the spine, pushing the mat away from you, broadening across the shoulder blades. Inhale as we arch, tailbone reaches towards the ceiling or towards the sky, chin goes up. Exhale, tag the tailbone round the back, engage the belly, push. 2 more here, inhale, and then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale, pause, stay here. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit towards each other. Breathe. So we stay here a little longer. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone and move the other way, rounding the back, chin to chest. Then find something in between, neither arching nor rounding. We're going to tag the toes first. Then as we breathe out, we engage the arms a little bit more, pushing the mat away, keep the knees up, and then move the buttocks towards the heels. You're definitely going to start feeling your legs. Good job. From here, lower the knees, point the toes, sit back, child's pose. Shift the weight forward into all fours. Same as before, we tag the toes. Now push a little bit more this time, so your shoulder blades may be moving away from each other. Now lift the knees, hover. So you start activating the core. Now push more through the arms. Sit the hips closer towards the heels. Sit. And then we lower the knees, we point the toes, sit back, child's pose. Once more like this, take it forward, all fours, tag the toes, engage the front core, maybe rounding the back into a cat pose. Lift the knees, hold, and then start pushing more with the arms, hips towards the heels, pause. Surely you're gonna start feeling your legs here. This time, instead of lowering the knees, you're gonna drop the heels into your first downward dog. And take a moment or two to move around. So some of us will choose to walk the hands farther forward, maybe lengthening the stance. And then maybe bending one knee and then the other. And then inhale, raise both heels. Exhale, press the heels down. Keep going. Now, if your heels don't touch the floor, that's absolutely okay. You may keep doing the same with the knees slightly bent and just aim for moving the heels up and down. So what we really want to focus on here is keeping the length in the spine. So if by extending the legs, your spine takes this shape, better to keep the knees slightly bent. Now inhale, reach the heels up, pause. Exhale, press the heels down. Inhale, raise the heels, draw the belly in. Now shift the weight forward into a high plank. Shoulders over the wrists, pause, draw the belly in, push the mat away from you. Now, if this is too much, you can lower the knees and still focusing on engaging the front core. If you're in a high plank with me, stay here. Now exhale, initiate the movement from your belly, push back into a downward dog. Great job. Once more like this. Lift the heels, lift the hips, then wave forward into a high plank. Pause. Exhale, downward dog. Last one, guys. Inhale, take it forward, high plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Raise the heels, bend the knees. Now, without changing the position of your upper body, move the hips towards the back and bend the knees. Hold. Hover the knees just above the floor. Slowly lower them all the way down. Point the toes and then move into a child's pose. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then breathe out fully through your mouth. Look ahead. Open the hands, making sure you really spread the fingers. Shift the weight forward. Tug the toes. Hover the knees just above the floor. Then move the hips back. We've been here before. Knees just above the floor. Now lift the hips downward facing dog. Great job. From here, bring the feet together. And again, remember, you can keep the knees bent if that works better for your body. Keeping the left heel on the floor, reach your right leg up. You can open the hip a little bit and just focus on reaching that right leg as high as possible. Breathe. Then look ahead, shift the weight forward. Pull the right knee towards the chest and as softly as you can, step your right foot forward. Now, if that looked different in your body, you may always grab the ankle and help yourself with the hands. From here, lower the back knee, your left knee, toes either pointed or flexed at this stage. Hands on the fingertips, or if you have two blocks, they may come in handy as well. You may keep the hands on the blocks as well. Fingertips on the floor or on the blocks, as I already said. You push yourself away from your leg. So ideally, your belly isn't resting on your thigh. Now, focus on moving the hips forward while drawing the belly in and engaging the butt cheek here as well. Roll the shoulders back, open the heart. And then as we exhale, we flex the toes if we had them pointed. Breathe out, move the hips back into a half split. And again, if this is challenging, you may keep the knee slightly bent or hands on the blocks. But we're not gonna stay here, we're gonna move, guys. We bend the knee into a low lunge, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split, looking good. Bend the knee, inhale, open the heart. Exhale, half split. One more time, bend the knee. And then exhale, half split, hold. Now see whether you can move the right hip back. So imagine you want to pull the right heel towards the back of the mat. Roll the shoulders back, keep the spine long, maybe hands on the blocks if that works better for you. And then we rebend the right knee. Ground the hands down, left knee comes up, step back, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Inhale the left leg up. As we've done before, focus on bringing the legs away from each other, really stretching them. Exhale, bring the left knee towards the chest, engage the belly. Step your left foot forward as softly as you can. Lower the right knee, fingertips on the floor or on the blocks. Roll the shoulders back and move the hips forward. So we want to broaden across the collarbones here now. Take one more breath here, and then we start to move. Exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Remember, you can always use those blocks. And then we bend the knee. Exhale as you straighten the front leg. Inhale as you bend. Two more, exhale, and then inhale. Last one, exhale, we hold, pause. Now, same as we've done before, imagine the left heel pulling back. So the left hip moves towards the back and the hips are square. Keep your spine long, breathe. Rebend the left knee, ground the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Lift the heels, look ahead, few steps forward. Now see whether you can do it with your knees straight. If that's not an option, bend them. Listen to your own body. Remember, ahimsa, non-violence. Separate the feet, keep them hips width apart. Hands on the shins, inhale halfway up, keep the knees soft first, see what it feels like, keeping the belly engaged. And then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Maybe for the next round, you choose to extend the knees. Inhale, straight legs. Exhale, forward fold. Some of you will be able to keep the hands on the floor the entire time. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, stay there. Now see whether you can shift a little bit more weight onto your toes. Maybe the head drops. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Power up through the legs. Inhale, come up all the way. Reach the arms above the head. Exhale, hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. I hope you feel a little warmer. So we stay where we were, front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, hinge forward. Soft knees is always an option. Lower the hands on the floor. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back, lower the right knee. We've been here before. Roll the shoulders back, open the chest, inhale. Exhale, half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Once more only this time. Inhale, bring the hips forward. Exhale, half split. Inhale, bring it forward. Now plant the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then breathe out fully through your mouth. Lift the heels, inhale into a high plank. Now in your high plank, always remember the option, you can drop the knees. We shift the weight farther forward, hold for 3, 2, and 1. Now lower the knees, pause. Make sure the shoulders are moving farther forward. Now bend the elbows just a little bit and keep them hugging in, hold. So baby chaturanga. Now as we reach the heart forward, we point the toes. Cobra, keep the elbows bent, roll the shoulders back. The tops of the feet are actively pressing against the floor. Tug the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Great job. Deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through the mouth. Look ahead, lift the heels and take few steps forward to the very front of the mat. Feet hips width apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Inhale, power up through the legs, all the way up to standing. And then exhale, hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. We continue on. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathe out, Uttanasana, forward fold. This time, step your left leg back. Lower the left knee. Hands on the fingertips or on the blocks, your choice. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split. Bend the knee, inhale. Exhale, half split. Bend the knee, back to your low lunge. Plant the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Raise the heels, way forward, high plank. Shift the weight farther forward, engage the front core, push the mat away from you, squeeze the glutes. Lower the knees, one more time, baby chaturanga. So we don't want to collapse here, draw the belly in. Bend the elbows, maybe halfway this time. Shoulders and elbows in line. Point the toes, reach the heart forward. Bhujangasana, cobra. Tag the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Raise the heels, take few steps all the way forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. And then exhale, Anjali Mudra. Keeping the feet hips width apart. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Step your right leg back. Low lunge. We've been here before. Stay here or reach the arms overhead. Now make sure you're drawing the belly in. As we breathe out, we move the hips back. This time, hands don't touch the floor. Reach the arms back. See how it goes. Bend the knee. Inhale, back to a low lunge. Exhale, half split. One more time. Bring it into your low lunge. And then half split. Great job. Inhale here. Now plant the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Stay there. From your downward facing dog, raise the heels way forward into a high plank. Now yogi's choice. You drop the knees, or we go chaturanga dandasana. Shifting the weight forward, keeping everything super engaged. Bend the elbows, belly and knees away from the floor. Pause, point the toes, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Shoulders rolling back, broadening across the collarbones. Exhale, downward facing dog. Yogi's choice, you take several steps as we've done before, or you can step one leg and then the other to the front of the mat, or some of you may choose to lift the heels, bend the knees, you focus on shifting the weight onto your arms as you hop. Remember, no sound, guys. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, power up through the legs, reach up. And then exhale, hands to heart. How are you doing? Other side. Keeping the feet hips width apart. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. This time, step your left leg back. Lower the knee. Either stay here or inhale, reach the arms up. Now you know where you're going. So make sure the back foot is tucked. Exhale, straighten the front knee. Hinge forward, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, bring it back. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. Plant the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Take it forward into your high plank. Yogi's choice, knees or not. Shift the weight forward, bend the elbows, chaturanga. Point the toes, inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Raise the heels, either step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, power up through the legs. Come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart. How are you doing? Feet hips width apart. This time we turn the toes out slightly. Reach the arms forward, and we're going to find Malasana. Now, those of you who find this position quite challenging, see whether it gets any easier by bringing the legs a little bit wider. If your heels are really high, you may also think of rolling the mat and maybe keeping the heels on the mat. Yeah, that may work for you as well. While you're here, think of moving the hips forward, so that allows your spine to lengthen a little bit more. Then from here, you're going to bring the toes in, lift the hips into the same forward fold, similar, which you've been doing for a while already. So toes in, hands could be either on the hips, on your shins, or on the floor, forward fold. Turn the toes out, back to Malasana. Toes in, lift. Toes out, squat. 2 more. Toes in, Uttanasana. Toes out, Malasana. Last one, toes in, pause. And then back to Malasana, stay here. Then plant the hands down, step your right leg back, frame the front foot. Lower the knee, we've been here before. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. And then exhale, move the arms back, half split. Stay here this time. So see how it requires a little bit more core to stay here stable. Now, those of you who are okay, you may think of lowering the chest a little bit, and then think of really digging that front heel onto the mat. Pause, hold for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, back to a low lunge, stay here. Keep your back toes stacked, reach the arms above the head. Now power up through the legs, keep the belly in, bring your back knee up, hold. Lift it higher, crescent lunge. Now see what it feels like in your hips. If by extending the leg, you start turning the hip this way, keep it slightly bent. If you're still okay, imagine the back here reaching towards the back of the room. At the same time, you want the belly really engaged. Inhale here. Now exhale, hinge forward, rest in lunge, stay here. Now from here, you either place the hands on your blocks. I have some handy here. And then we work on extending the front leg. The back heel stays nice and high. Bend the knee. Power up through the front leg. Come up into a high lunge. Lower the hands. Straighten the front knee. If that's going well for you, maybe you don't need the blocks. Bend the front knee. High lunge. Lower the hands. Stretch. Stay here. Now focus on pulling that front hip, your left hip back, and your right hip slightly forward. Lower the shoulder, roll the shoulders back, and keep lengthening through the spine. Breathe. If you're still okay, maybe the hands go flat. Breathe. One more breath, and then we rebend the front knee. Ground the hands down, step back, downward dog. Inhale into a high lunge. Yogi's choice, bring it forward, maybe chaturanga. Point the toes, inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Raise the heels and either step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up all the way. Exhale, hands to heart. Turn the toes out. Find that malasana squat again. Only once here now. Toes in, stretch. Toes out, malasana. Plant the hands down. This time it's your left leg stepping back. Find that low lunge first. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, arms go up. And then exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Yeah, so same shape. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, this time we pause. Draw the belly in, and remember, if that's too much at any stage, feel free to lower the hands on the floor or on the blocks. Stay here. Then we re-bend the front knee. Reach the arms up. Now power up through the legs, belly and ribs in. Hover the back knee off the floor, hold. Then bring it higher, bring it higher, bring it higher. Keep the bend in the front leg. Either keeping the back knee slightly bent or push the heel towards the back, stay here. Then hinge forward, lower the hands, keep the back heel lifted, straighten the front leg. Remember, you can always use the blocks here. Bend the front knee, power up through the legs, back to a high lunge. Hinge forward, lower the hands, straighten the front leg. Bend the knee, come up, lower the hands, and then stay. Think of moving the left hip back as you move your right hip forward. So we want the hip bones to be facing the same direction. Re-bend the front knee, hands down, step back, downward dog. Inhale into a high plank, vinyasa of your choice. Breathe out, chaturanga, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out fully through your mouth. We're nearly there. Look ahead, either step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Power up through the legs. Inhale, come up all the way. And then exhale, hands to heart. Turn the toes out, back to Malasana. And this time we stay here. So the elbows are on the inside of the knees. Now you use the elbows to push the knees out, but at the same time, I would like you to press the legs against the elbows. So as we say in Singapore, guys, kyap. Stay here and remember about moving the hips forward so that you can lengthen through the spine. Good job. Lower the right arm, reach the left arm up, twist. Lower the left arm, bring the right arm up. Bring it back to center, stay here. If you're still okay, we can explore working on the rotation of your hips, external and internal. Think of moving the knee back, allowing the inner arch of your right foot to lift, and then release. Same on the other side. Now, if this is challenging, you may keep the hands on the floor or even on the blocks as well, or the movement may not be as visible as here. As long as you're trying to make it happen, you're still getting all the benefits. Just one more here. Then internal rotation. think of bringing the knee down. Again, maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you can go all the way down. We don't want to twist the chest so much though. And then back. And the other side. Good. Last one on each side. And then back to Malasana. Hold. Stay here. Breathe. I know some of you love this position. Some of you don't. Now from here, sit down. Great job. Bring the legs forward. So aim for lengthening up through the spine. So again, it may look differently in different bodies. So if this is challenging already for you to stay upright, a good idea would be to sit on the block. So that usually creates more length, yeah? Also, you may find yourself finding it more accessible by bending the knees. So see what works for you. We bring the hands next towards the hips, roll the shoulders back, lengthen. Now focus on lengthening both sides of your waist. Legs are active, that means, in this case, we want the toes to be pointing towards the face. As we lengthen up, we find that bend, it's a forward fold we're just about to do, in the hips and in the lower back. So from here, the chest moves forward. So think of the sternum, a big bone here, moving forward towards the feet, towards the feet. So we don't want to reach the arms forward and round the back here. Keep the shoulders running back for as long as you can. Maybe hands staying here, that's cool. Maybe hands going forward. Maybe you can use a towel or a belt. Those of you who are comfortable here, you may go into a deeper expression of the forward fold of Paschimottanasana by allowing the belly to touch the thighs. Maybe reaching for the big toes, maybe the sides of the feet, maybe the wrist, or some of you, very flexible, you may take the block and place the hands around the block. From here, inhale to come up. Great job. And then make sure you have space behind you. So maybe moving a little bit towards the front of the mat. As we go down, I can't help myself. We're going to use the core a little bit here. So feet hips width apart. Option 1, holding on to the sides of your thighs or reaching the arms forward. Draw the belly in. Go a little bit lower, pause. Little bit lower, pause. And the moment you feel you want to let go, just take a deep breath and try to stay there for a little longer. Little lower, and then all the way down. Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Move the knees towards the armpits first and then see what's going on with your lower back. So if you feel that your lower back is already lifting, maybe this is where you should stay or where it feels good enough. Or you bring the legs in a way that the soles of the feet are facing the ceiling. Now your lower back stays on the floor. You may even think of grounding the sacrum. Then either holding onto the inner edges or outer edges, I'll leave it up to you for this one. And then use the arms a little bit so that you pull the knees towards the armpits and feet and knees are in line. You can close the eyes here. Then we bring the feet to touch, place them on the floor and allow the knees to drop towards the sides. Choose where you'd like to place your arms. They could be on the sides of the body with the palms facing up. You can reach the arms above the head. You may even hold on to the opposite elbows. And if staying still feels good, you stay still. Or if you'd rather move the hips from side to side, you do that as well. And then allowing the legs to straighten, very quick Shavasana. Feel free to continue with your Shavasana after we finish as well. Allowing the legs to relax. So most of us will have them rolling out. And as for the arms, place them wherever you'd like. So if bringing the arms to the sides of the body with the palms facing up works for you, that's great. If you'd rather have them on your belly, perfect. Over the head is an option as well. We're just going to take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Twice more. And allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Hug the knees towards the chest one by one. Gently rock from side to side. Then roll to either side of the body. Stay here for a second, and then use the arms to bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. Try to keep your eyes still closed. So we return to where we started. Bring the hands together to touch in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. And take a moment to give thanks and gratitude to yourself for showing up on the mat. And I thank you for allowing me to guide you. And I do thank you as well. Gently bow the head towards the heart, blink the eyes opened. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this short practice, and I'm looking forward to seeing you online and face to face very soon. Stay sane. Namaste.